Counter-terror talks take place between Pakistan and the US. On Wednesday, Pakistan and the US officials concluded a two-day moot on counter-terrorism at the Foreign Office in Islamabad. The development comes after Pakistan and the US conducted defense talks in Washington, D.C. last month. The recent meeting was chaired by senior Pakistani and senior US officials. The US side was chaired by the US Department of State Acting Coordinator for Counterterrorism, Christopher Landberg, and Pakistan's Foreign Ministry of Foreign Affairs Additional Secretary for the UN and Economic Diplomacy, Syed Haider Shah. The two sides, as per their respective press releases, have agreed to work on a host of issues, including countering violent extremism and terrorism, terror financing, and the justice sector. Let us walk you through what these developments really mean. We previously told you that both Pakistan and the US are now dehyphenating their cooperation between security and non-security areas. With the recent meeting, the role of the Foreign Office has taken a center stage in counter-terror talks between the two sides, which has usually been led by the military and defense bureaucracy of both sides. Second, the statement by the US Embassy to counter all forms of violent extremism means the US and Pakistan will expand its scope to other forms of extremism also, and the treatment of TTP as a combined threat to both countries. Second, areas such as cybersecurity, which have often been overlooked in bilateral security, will find more prominence. Ensuring cooperation on this end can also be a positive sign for US investors seeking to work in Pakistan's tech and corporate landscape. Third, capacity building of Pakistani law enforcement agencies with supply of equipment and training will find additional prominence as both sides seek to resuscitate counter-terror cooperation. In our previous podcast with Michael Kugelman and Daniel Markey, we told you about possible forms this cooperation could take place, spanning from intelligence-based cooperation to the resumption of Coalition Support Fund and refocus on the resurgent threat of TTP, to name a few. Fourth, and most importantly, this is perhaps the fourth most important meeting taking place under a month between the two sides. Previously, defense talks in the DC were followed by Derek Chollet's visit to Islamabad and Commerce Minister's meeting with the US officials in Washington, D.C. The upcoming meeting on Climate and Environment Working Group and Strategic Energy Dialogue will take place on March 15 and 16, respectively, in collaboration with the Ministry of Climate Change in Islamabad. While Pakistan and the US are continuing to expand bilateral cooperation, a broader structured framework remains the need of the hour to elevate and engage the bilateral relations, possibly under a strategic dialogue to define bilateral relations under an international order that remains in flux. I'm Usama Nizamani, and this was your Daily Dispatch.